Welcome to People Love Process. The goal of a well-defined creative process is impactful and effective design that helps a company, a product, or service communicate and grow. But it doesn't do any good coming up with beautiful design if you don't take the time to organize the final deliverables and make access and usage of your work easier for your client. So in this movie, I'm going to share several ways I streamline the process of outputting and then organizing final brand assets. So let's dive into it. All the assets we've created for Organ Life, we have all of our colored process assets here. These would be the primary brand graphics. And here we have all the spot color. And if you toggle on and off these layers, you're not going to notice any difference because it's just the format of color. One is physical ink and one was made up of CMYK. We also have black and white assets we've created from all those various iterations. And we have reversed versions. This is a one color version that works on a colorized or photographic background. We also have colored reverse, which is the same reverse format that again works on a colored or photographic background. We've come up with a brand badge, and this badge we provide in all the various formats of color, both in a black and white and in a reverse version, whether one color or colorized. We've done the same thing with the iconography, providing it in all the various color formats, black and white, and uncontained outside of the nested shape of a circle. Here's all the iconography that's reversed and works on a colorized or, again, photographic background. So all of these assets is what I'm going to provide to my client. And I'm going to provide all those various color formats, all the various file types. And how do I go about doing that? Well, I want to walk you through one aspect, and that is we're going to create the RGB assets of these primary brand graphics. We can go ahead and close this file. We don't need to save it. And we're going to open up this, which is the asset export. You can see we have a lot of images in here already, but those aren't being shown because I have those layers turned off. We have the RGB color aspect for our assets turned on, but those aren't showing up in here because we haven't created them yet. And that's what I want to walk you through. So we're going to just go ahead and select these, and we'll add this one. The format that I tend to use is I abbreviate the name Organ Wild, so it would be OW logo _. And in this case, the format is going to be RGB. So we're going to be creating pixel-based raster images, not vector art here. So instead of going CMYK or spot to define the color, we're just going to go color, and we'll go 1. I usually copy the title like that, select the next asset, add that, paste the title, and just change the number to the next one, 2. Select this one, just the brand mark itself. We'll paste this title, change this to 3. Select this one, paste the title. Again, this is just a number change since we have a total of 6 assets. And this will be 5. And then the last one is this. And we'll punch in 6. So we've created all the color assets here. Now, I've already exported out all the other assets. So if I go ahead and turn on these layers here, you can see all those assets going on and all these assets on the various layers, whether it's RGB color, the black and white, RGB black, that is, reverse, colored reverse, and badge design, and all the various formats. And you can see all those up here. But we've already exported all those, so we'll go ahead and turn off those layers. So all we're dealing with is these. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select all of these, and we're going to export it out in two different ways. Now, I'm saving out raster images. Think of these as assets a vendor could use on their QuickBooks invoicing or on a flyer, or maybe they're printing out a letter they're sending to somebody. They could drop this in if they wanted to. That kind of usage. This isn't professional printed stationery or anything like that, or print collateral. This is for desktop publishing on the client side. And however they want to use it, I want to provide them with a format that gives them that flexibility. So I provide it in both JPEG and PNG, and I save it at a higher resolution than 300 PPI. Save them out usually between 350 and 400 PPI. You want to select JPEG 100. And so when you have all these selected, the resolution set, the format set, then we'll go ahead and go export. We'll select the desktop because we want to select the folder RGB assets, and then we'll go choose, and it'll save all of those into that folder. And now I want to go down, instead of RGB, I'm going to select PNG 8 because I want to provide versions that don't have a background, that's all transparent background. So that's why we'll select all the same assets we just saved out as a JPEG. We're going to use the same resolution, but we're going to change the format to PNG 8, and we can go export. We'll pick the same location here, and we'll go choose, and it'll export all of those out. Now, we'll review these assets shortly, but I just wanted to show you how I go about doing that to create those high-resolution images of the brand assets for a client to use on the desktop publishing side of things. Let's go ahead and switch to this file. And now that we have the previous file done, we can go ahead and close that. We don't need to save it. And on this one, this involves, we won't be using the asset export. For each of the type of formats, whether it's CMYK, RGB, black and white, reversed or colored reversed, etc. And I'm saving out vector art files, all organized. In this case, it's for RGB. We're in RGB mode, color mode. But I have each of my assets, 6 of them, for RGB1, RGB2, RGB3, 4, 5, and 6. Each one's on its own layer, and that's important because we're going to be taking this and running a script on it. Now, scripts, you can load a script by going to File, pulling down to Script, and I have a script that I had custom created for me called GS Save Layers as AI, so it saves each layer as an AI file, and it removes the unused elements. So if you didn't have this, my old one was just save layers as AI, but when you did that, it would save it as an AI file. But when you open it up, there would be all those default things that Adobe Illustrator adds to a new file when you create it, like the pattern swatches that are in there already, or the brushes that it preloads. I want all of those stripped out, so I had it customized so it removes all the unused colors, all the graphic styles, and any of the brushes. So it pares down the file and kind of cleans it up. So we're going to run this script. But before we do that, I want to explain one thing, and that is this script takes the file name. That's why I have it named OW logo. Then it'll put, when it exports out each individual file, it'll put an underscore after OW logo underscore, and then it will place the layer name after that. So it'll be OW logo underscore RGB1, OW logo underscore RGB2, so on and so forth, all the way through 6. So you want to name your file appropriately the way you want the end file. Otherwise, you have to rename them. And that's what I do. I also usually set my measurements for this file to inches. I tend to work in points, but most people don't. So I always set it to default to inches. So knowing that, let's go ahead. We can close this. Let's go ahead and run the script on this file. You want to make sure it's saved. My script will actually remind you, did you save your file before you ran it? just in case. So we'll go ahead and run this script. We'll go File and Script. Actually, let's go ahead and save it just to make sure it's saved. Then we'll go File, Script. We'll select this. And as soon as you let go, it's going to start it. Notice I put this safety precaution in here. Save your original file before continuing. Yes, I did that, and it'll remind you. So if you didn't, you can click no and go back and do that. We already did that. So wherever you have this file, owlogo.ai at, it's going to save the exports that this script does in that same file. So we'll just click yes. And that's how quick it goes. Now we're going to switch to the desktop and take a look at the assets we exported. So we're on the desktop here, and I'm going to open up a few of these folders. This is the folder I organize all the brand assets. So let's go ahead and open that up. And you can see here I have the logo files, black and white, CMYK, reverse, spot, so on and so forth. I categorize all the files into their own folder for RGB because I have all those assets for RGB as well. I have this RGB assets I'll open up, and these are all the ones we saved out from asset export. You can see them here like this. But these are for the high-res images. So I'm going to open this up, and you can see for the logo for the high-res imagery for desktop publishing use, I have all the black and white here. I have all the black and white for Ping. I have the reverse for Ping. And you don't have reverse for JPEG because the backgrounds aren't transparent. So we need to move all these JPEG images over. So I'll just select all the colored JPEG images like this. Let's go ahead and select all those. So we have 6 of them. And I'm just going to drag it into this folder and drop it. So we have all the color ones now in there. We just need to move all these Ping images over as well. And we'll put those in the appropriate folder like that. And so that's how I organize all of those in the high-res imagery. Now, when it comes to the RGB AI files is showing here. We can go ahead and close that now and drag this up here. You can see this was our source file that we ran the script on. Once we're done with this, we don't need to save that. We can get rid of that. And then on these files here, these are all RGB logo files, and they're all clean, so meaning they don't have additional swatches or brushes or anything. So we'll go into RGB under logo. We have color. Notice we have black and white already done. We have all the reverse ones done. We just don't have the color. So I'll take each of these, and if you quick view them, you can see we have each of these saved as their own file. So the script works great. And that script is available in the exercise files for this course, for this movie. And you can use it however you want. So that's how I would bring those assets, export them out, bring them in, and organize them. So what I provide to my client is all their brand assets in one folder. And this corresponds with the brand style guide that I set up for them, which explains what each asset could be used for. So here we have the logo. The logo is provided in black and white, CMYK, reversed, and spot. And I provide native AI files. I never deal with EPS. There's some issues with EPS with transparency. That's why I haven't used EPS in over 12 years, and AI works great because vendors have native software they can open them up with. So iconography, I provide black and white, again, CMYK, reversed, and spot. So all the various graphics, whether it's the badge provided in all those formats, all the vector art provided in those formats, even the brand patterns we've gone over. Here's source files for the brand pattern, CMYK, the 2 patterns there, and the 2 patterns on the reverse. Those are all ready to go. And then in the RGB mode, we have all the logo work. all those files in RGB format, the patterns provided in RGB format, the icons provided in RGB format, and the badge graphics. So all the assets provided in all the various formats, both color and vector and raster, so they have everything they need to move forward with and market themselves successfully. And as always, thank you for watching People Love Process. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch my content, and I truly hope it helps you in your own creative pursuits.